I'm ZombiePirateNinja. Most of you watching this probably know me, but the intended audience doesn't yet, and probably never will, and that's okay. This video is for my favorite, and I mean absolute favorite, online personality that I've ever seen and probably ever will. In fact, possibly my favorite celebrity ever. MatPat from Game Theorist. This video is for you, buddy. I've always wanted to meet you. And I know that that's never going to be reality. But that's okay. Because over the past 13 years, I can't say you're my childhood. But I can say that we have shared one. And over that past 13 years, I've grown with you. I've watched you explore in depth some of my favorite titles of all time. We share one. Earthbound. Yes, Sans is Ness. I believe you, and I have every reason to, because I played both games and I used my brain. And that theory's sound. And you know what? During your send-off, when you said that you're Ness, gosh, that broke me, man. I couldn't let that title go to anybody else. But when you said it was spot on. 13 years ago, before you made your channel, right before you made your channel, or at least right before I discovered it, my mother fell into a cardiac arrest. And she's still alive. She was in a coma for several months. And even though she's still here, she's not here. So 11 years ago, or sorry, 13 years ago. This was 2011. Into 2010, beginning in 2011. All that time ago, I ideally lost my mom, the person that, raised me. And there was a void in my life. And I discovered your channel. And man, you brought me out of a slump, and I didn't even realize it at the time. It wasn't until I reflected back all these years, but when I was just in that pit, and there was a void that needed to be filled, I found this wacky little guy, that just, he used PNGs. It was like such a low budget production. You could tell he made it in his closet. And that turned out to be way more true than I could have ever realized. And yeah, it hit in such a way. I'm trying to remember what the first episode I ever saw was. It was probably like Link is Dead, or it was sometime back then. Link is Dead. Possibly Mario's a sociopath. I can't remember, but I just remember the way that you applied math and science to something as, much of a meaningless pastime as video games. It was like, wow. Huh. Someone else thinks like that. And, granted, I never went to college, and I'm nowhere near the genius MatPat is. I'm a deep thinker. I'm not going to say I'm dumb by any means. In fact, I'm probably a little smarter than the average individual. But when I heard MatPat, you just rattling off those numbers and applying it to real life, I was just like, man, this is entertaining me. And the delivery, I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? I love him. And just instantly I was roped in. And I never stopped watching. People say, you were my childhood, or you are my childhood. Like I said, you weren't that. We grew together. And it was such an amazing and wonderful journey. I waited on the edge of my seat. Like, when you do those two-part theories, you know, especially on FNAF, where you were like, but that's all I can cover this time. Next time. You know, it was like being a kid again, watching Dragon Ball Z, and then that announcer comes in, you know, right as that big old spirit bomb's about to land, and he's like, next time on Dragon Ball Z, and you're like, no! Or you're just so hyped because you just want to hear what he's got to say next. Or you know, I'm already relaying from my analogy right back to you. Because that is how much you affected me. I have a feeling, I've never heard you say it, but I have a feeling that you don't like to be called an influencer. You don't like that term. Call it a theory, if you will, but I feel that way, and I hate to call you an influencer. And I actually did yesterday in my comment on your goodbye video, and afterwards I wanted to edit it, but one of you guys liked it, and I wanted to leave it the way I initially posted it, even if there's any typos in there, because I literally voice texted that while driving. I made it halfway through that video before I had to just like melt down in tears and stop watching for safety. Well, not watching, listening. Growing up as an adult, I have tended to watch less and less and listen more and more on my long 12-hour shifts at Amazon. You know, you're the voice in my ear that just keeps me going. And speaking of that, wow, what a year to decide to finally just listen through the entire catalog from episode 1 all the way to current on all 4 channels. And you know, when I was listening to those, I saw the signs. I hate to admit it, but I saw the signs of this coming. When the company, you know, got sold, and you assured us that you'd be there and all that. I'm by the way, please don't think that I'm shaming you or anything. Just please hear me out. I saw it coming. I saw the evolution, and I didn't want to believe it. I still don't want to believe it. This is what I was saying about you probably not liking being called an influencer. But as you can see, you influenced me. And I'm sure you influenced many others. It's weird to say because of all the dark subject matter you cover. But you're like this generation's Mr. Rogers. I haven't seen such a wholesome individual that truly has a desire to care about and teach those that he's there for since Mr. Rogers, since the guy that single-handedly saves Channel 9, PBS, sorry. Gosh, I can't even think straight. This is totally unscripted. I'm sorry, I hope it's not rambling. I want you to know how much I'm gonna miss you, buddy. You too, Steph. And you know, I know you're handing it off to great people. I really do. Amy, man, you couldn't have picked a better choice for style theory. And Santi on food theory. Nothing against Tom. But I don't know if he's gonna be able to get me to come back the same. And I'm not saying that to denote his talents or his efforts. What I'm trying to say is, and sorry, I'm not too well versed on the guy that you're bringing in for film theory. Let me pull up his name so I can at least credit him. So who do we have here? Don't tell me I'm gonna have to pull up your video here. I really didn't want to do all that. All right, so Forest. My gosh, Forest. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, I'm not very well versed in Forest, but the thing I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm getting lost here. The thing I'm trying to say is that no matter who you hand it off to, no one's gonna be able to capture that witty banter, that delivery, the absolute just. How do you even put it? Like, you're in everything that you do, like heart and soul. And that's what I feel we're gonna lose, is we're gonna lose the soul of game theory. And I know you'll still be behind the scenes. But man, not hearing "Hello, Internet!" or "That's just a theory," a game theory, the way that you do it, man. Your opinions, your viewpoints, your passion, that's what I'm looking for, the passion. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to present that. And God, that's going to be missed. But don't let this all be selfish. I don't just want this to seem like I'm begging you to stay, because that's not what this is at all. I'm wishing you and your family well. You, Steph, and yes, even little Allie. Barely got to see the guy, but the few times I did, man, that guy had an impact on me too. And I understand your choices. I have a son myself. And when I streamed every night, it was hard being there for him. And I didn't realize how much I was missing him grow up. So don't think that I don't get it. But just know that there is a void. Just like the one that you filled in the first place. There'll be a new void. And that really hurts. That really hurts. And like I said, back when your channel started, I essentially lost my mom. And over the years, I've lost my uncle. And I was raised by my grandmother. Like, she's the one I actually was raised by and lived with. And I lost one of my uncles. He was more like a brother to me than an uncle. Then I lost my grandmother. This past year, I lost my aunt. My brother, who lived with me, I didn't live with him until I was 21 years old because he was raised by my mom. We finally got to connect and grow close to each other, but only for like 9 short years, and then he recently moved away, and in like 2 or 3 years ago he moved away. Wow, time flies so fast. But you've always been there with me, through all this loneliness. I live a very lonely life now. I only get to see my son on the weekends. Otherwise, it's always just me here. And it's gonna seem so empty without your voice now. I said before that as I've grown up, I've watched less and less, and I've listened more and more, and call it a hunch, but I have a feeling I'm gonna go back through, and just like I listened to the whole series of all 4 channels this past year, I really know that I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch all of them, including GT Live. I have not touched GT Live ever, actually. And I'm grateful now because I get to relive your silliness again after you're gone for the first time. And, you know, I've got that to look forward to. I really hope the best for you in all your projects. I look forward into the stuff that you're releasing for us. There's so much that I've always wanted to say to you. I guess a few things is I always wanted to suggest Earthbound is one of our favorite games of all time. Not my top favorite, though. That slot goes to the original XCOM, the MS-DOS port from 1994. You can get it on Steam. Very, very cheap. $2, $5, whatever. Try it out. It's just like the modern XCOM, except it has a whole level of complexity and micromanaging that they could never hope to recreate. So yeah, favorite game of all time. Check that out. Super awesome. If you don't know the podcast, welcome to Night Vale. I swear, ever since the first time I heard it, I was like, oh my god, MatPat has to hear this. It's, what it is it's taking place from the viewpoint of a radio announcer in like a dystopian fictional town full of just absolute weird anomalies I can't even begin to explain in a short period of time. So please, I do implore, if nothing else, check out Welcome to Night Vale. I truly believe as a theater kid that is right up your venue. They also do live shows, so perhaps you and the family could go see one and partake and really enjoy. And maybe I've helped you find something new. Maybe you're already completely caught up on it. I don't know. But that's something I've always wanted to share with you. Either way, I do hope this video finds you. And I hope, even in the most minuscule iota of a way, that it impacts you just at all. To know what you meant to me. And that you really will be missed. I never thought in a million years that I would cry over an online personality, but hey, I did. And I have been. I went out at like 3 in the morning last night. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy. Well, they know I'm crazy. But I just walked out into the middle of the street and I screamed just, God damn it! After I finally was able to pull myself together to watch the final half of your goodbye video. And I foresee myself, just having outbursts like that multiple times in the future because I keep going through the stages of denial that you'll be leaving. Matthew Patrick, MatPat, the game theorist, the film theorist, the food theorist, and the style theorist. Thank you. Truly. From the bottom of my heart. You deserve a standing ovation. I've given you many over the years. But I wanted you to see just one. Just one. Stephanie, thank you. You have one hell of a man and a beautiful family. And Team Theorist, like I said, don't let any of this discredit your efforts. I do look forward to seeing what you have for us. I will still watch. But I don't feel it'll be the same. And I think you guys know it too. But I do sincerely value the talent that each of you have. And the time you've spent. And the efforts you've made. And I won't let that go in vain. I'll still share your videos with my friends. I do it all the time. They think I'm retarded because I just, hey, did you know? And I'm a 38-year-old man. But I love you all. And I don't want to ramble anymore. If anybody ever wants to contact me, my socials are over on my Twitch page, ZombiePirateNinja. There may be some on my YouTube page. I don't know. I just kind of use it as an archive for my streams that I used to do a lot. But please keep doing what you're doing, guys. I've always wanted to do exactly that. I just don't know if I have the skills or the charisma or anything that it takes to do it, and I wouldn't even begin to know where to start. So please keep it up. I need you guys. Especially with Matt gone. You got some big shoes to fill. Some Ronald McDonald big shoes to fill. Okay? Like, Matt stood up to the CEO of YouTube. He's donated to charities. He's done so many amazing things. And I want to see that out of you. I'm going to hold you to it. Now, we're going to close this up. I've said I love you guys. You know how much I respect you. If you ever want to contact me, hit the socials up. I don't care if we just play a game together. It would be an honor. Just like it's been an honor to watch these past 13 years. And that's not just a theory. That's a fact. But now, in closing, just for you, MatPat, we'll hop out with "We'll meet again, don't know how, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny